Welcome to the Living Artist Podcast. I'm your host, Preston M. Smith. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Living Artist Podcast. I'm Preston M. Smith, at PMS Artwork everywhere on internet land and socials. I want to thank you for landing on this podcast. Whether you're a professional artist, just getting started in the art world, a collector of art, or just consider yourself a creative person, this podcast has something for you. I like to think of it as a fun way to rant and talk to other creative people about living the life of an artist, surviving and getting ahead in the art world, and enjoying your life. But most importantly, not waiting until you're dead to make it happen. All right, let's get started.
Whatever the occasion, effortless elegance is right this way. Because Hilton brings you new ways to stay courtesy of the Nomad London. And it doesn't stop at award-winning dining in a space draped in velvet and illuminated by vintage chandeliers. No, this day goes beyond with unparalleled personalized service and attentive hospitality. Oh, and did we mention the Nomad London can be booked using your Hilton Honors points at Hilton.com? Hilton, for this day.
USAA knows dynamic duos can save the day, like superheroes and sidekicks or auto and home insurance. With USAA, you can bundle your auto and home and save up to 10%. Learn more and get a quote at USAA.com/bundle. Restrictions apply.
This episode is brought to you by San Pellegrino. A meal isn't just about what's on your plate. It's about what you bring to the table. San Pellegrino believes the table is where the best of life happens. That's what makes gathering around it so rich and rewarding. And with their unique sparkling natural mineral water, San Pellegrino brings its best so you can bring yours.
Welcome back to the podcast, everybody. With all the madness that's going on in the world, I figured it might be time to do another timely mashup episode.
Wait. Now let's do a regular episode.
No, I think you'll find out that the mashup is where it's at.
Yeah, but I want to do a regular episode.
Mashup episode.
Regular episode.
Mashup episode.
Regular episode.
Regular episode.
No, mashup episode.
All right, then it's settled. We'll do a mashup episode.
Nope. You got me with the Bugs Bunny logic. I guess you can't argue with that. Well, enjoy this special mashup episode on mental health and mental health strategies.
Yeah. What's up, Doc?
I'm always talking about using whatever we've dealt with in life and transmuting that into our art. And therefore it becomes a cathartic process. Did you find any of that with the development projects, that it was a cathartic process, or that you felt like you were honoring your past? I know you're saying your past doesn't equal your future, but also the past, once you embrace it, it can help you to define yourself a little bit and then use it to move forward and transmute those feelings.
Yeah, I think so. Part of what I did when I started Kaufman Development was I did look backwards and see, what parts I wanted to bring forward. Mm-hmm. So there was that part of me that did love to build, that loved the process of creating things, that loved the design and the architecture. And then there was this part of me that I wasn't really honoring, which was about service and connectivity and collaboration and creativity and the arts and wellness and all kinds of things I thought were outside. And they were really the traditional real estate development pro forma world. So definitely, yeah, very much, let even the conditioning that, I've shed to some extent, maybe in large part, I let that work for me too. Okay. So, I wanted to, I was told I ought to be successful, make money, have a good reputation. Okay, fine. I did do that. And that's not such a bad thing.
No, it's not. Right. I would actually argue that you can't really help other people until you've helped yourself first. And to have the impact that you've had, that sometimes means even being successful from a monetary standpoint.
Yeah, I think so. I think, it's all been, perfect, in what it is and what it's not. And so, yeah, I don't look back with regret or anger or any sort of anything other than gratitude for all of it at this point. Now that I've landed here, I am super grateful for all of it. It did all serve its purpose. But the key is, then what? is it still serving you,
Right.
and when it's not serving you anymore, that's, when it's time to continue to shift. And that's how I see it. Is it's a shift. It's an ongoing evolution. It's a peeling back of the onion. Occasionally you rip a Band-Aid or two, you take some big jumps, but it doesn't have to be, for me at least, it wasn't a, complete 180.
Yeah. And sometimes it's not linear either. Maybe you think you're over something, and it's like Magnolia, one of my best friend's favorite movies. It's like you might be done with the past, but the past isn't done with you. Sometimes that can come up and bite you in the ass from time to time. But
that's a great movie.
That's a great movie. I know.
Yeah.
I got to revisit it again.
My depression, I stayed on my medication throughout this pregnancy. It was a matter of life or death kind of thing, where I outweighed the risks and the for it, and I decided to stay on it for the well-being of myself and my baby.
Yeah.
So, but even
if you're stressed out and you're upset, the baby's going to feel that too.
Exactly. So even with my medication, I was still depressed. So I can't imagine without it where I would be. It was hard for a while for everybody to adjust.
Yeah.
But I think me taking the lead in healing kind of healed the whole family.
Definitely.
Because if I'm not okay, I notice my kids aren't okay. Like, even if I try to hide it and I'm going about they still feel that energy.
You feel it.
Yeah. So I think me taking control over, very consciously saying, I'm going to heal whatever, all my, and it's not a linear thing. Healing is never linear. But it was very conscious. I need to feel better. I need to, or I'm not going to survive, kind of thing.
It's funny because I think some people might go, oh, it's a selfish thing, but it's a selfless act actually to do that, to heal, because you're healing for your kids too. Right. Because I know for me growing up, I felt everything, and I absorbed it all, and I constructed a lot of defense mechanisms over that. Being funny, being a people pleaser, doing all these types of things. And so you're basically you're creating another problem if you're not allowing yourself to heal. So
and when you heal, you're breaking those generational bond, curses, basically.
Yes.
So
somebody has to do it.
Somebody has to do it. And I didn't want it to be my kids. I wanted it to be me, so they didn't have to go through that.
That's great. I love that. Talking about how you have accepted the wave, riding the wave of, I used to be so, I get down on myself and I'd be able to create every day or whatever. But now you're saying you have these little incubation periods, right? And then you come and you spill it all out, get it out there, sell, and then you go back into a state of, I guess you said a state of depression. Let's talk about all that. But that's really cool that you embrace that, because I'm always talking about on the show, whatever, sometimes not waiting for the muse and just getting out there and doing it. But there also is the flip side. There is that side of taking time for yourself and taking time to process things and not push yourself. So I would love to hear a little bit about that.
Yeah. I was actually listening to your podcast with Sarah Svetlana, and she put the nail, she hit the nail on the head when she was saying that she embraced these periods as kind of research. Taking these moments and learning, what is the universe trying to teach me in these moments? Obviously I'm not meant to paint right now.
Yeah.
I'm learning something to better myself, which is only going to better my art and my outcome and my passions.
For sure.
So at first I used to really beat myself up about it. I was like, oh my God, I'm a one-hit wonder. I sold all these pieces. I think my first year I sold I don't know, 30 paintings or something like that.
Yeah, that's great.
And it started dying down because I wasn't putting out new work. And I'm sure all artists know, there's an algorithm to selling your work online. You have to stay on top of the algorithm and stay relevant.
I know it very well.
Yeah. So I wasn't putting out any new work. So I wasn't getting put in front of anyone. So my sales slowed down, and I wasn't feeling creative. And I got I'm just a depressive person. I've always had depression, anxiety. And so, I just got into this really depressive season. And just beat myself up about it. And finally, I just kind of learned like, I think this is just how I create. Like I tried to force myself to go into the studio and paint things, but it was all shit. Like it didn't say anything. It was just brush strokes. It was frustration. Like it wasn't working for me. And so I was like, I'm not that type of person like that can just like paint myself through a creative block.
Yeah.
I just have to kind of like be depressed and on the couch for however long it takes. And yeah, I rode that wave. And then finally, like, I feel like in the new year, I don't know what happened. Something happened where I was like, okay, it's done. Like you've learned what you needed to learn. Welcome.
You've absorbed all the information.
Yeah. And like from one day to the other, I think you can even tell like on my Instagram, like from like, it's like January 1st. It's like post, like all the time, like every day, because I just woke up. And I think like a big part of that was accepting that art for me, at least, needs to come from a place of wanting to do it, and not having to do it. Like, not putting the pressure on myself of like, this is your career. You're an artist. You have to work 9 to 5 every day and paint, or else you're like a lazy, like stay at home wife, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think that's absolutely correct.
Welcome back to the show. It's Friday, and here comes your host, PMS Larry.
Oh, man. Wow. I just listened back to that and maxed out all my levels. And yeah, sorry about that. Well, actually, I'm not sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Hope you got a good chuckle out of that, and I hope it lifted your spirits a little bit. I was trying to do a little bit of a juxtaposition to how we're actually going to start the show because, man, haven't been able to shake this depression for a few weeks now. If anybody out there is feeling depressed and having a hard time right now, I can understand. And I know a lot of us can understand. They keep saying we're all in this together, but it doesn't feel that way sometimes. It feels very isolated. It feels like, are we really in this together? Because I feel like I'm just doing this alone. I know a lot of people feel like they're doing it alone. They're in their room, they're in their studio, up against the world or up against time or lack of money, fill in the blank. But we really are collectively in this together, at least in the collective consciousness. So remember that and take some comfort in that at least. And you know what? You have your creativity. In that way, we're so much luckier than so many other people because our creativity is cathartic and it can pull us out of this. Having said that, it's okay to feel down. It's okay to feel this and to really let it out. If you can't let it out in your creativity, if you're facing a creative block, talk to people, talk to somebody, talk to a friend, talk to yourself, talk to your walls. I've done it. Yeah, reach out to me. All of us artists are kindred spirits. We all can understand how the other person's feeling. It resonates, So, like I said, reach out to me and share how you're feeling. Hopefully I'll have some time to get back to you, and maybe there's some comfort in that. But other than that, let's just be there for each other. Don't take this out on other people, and don't be mean. Be nice to each other and be good to yourself. Do some loving kindness meditation. Watch a stupid movie. My wife and I think we've watched more stupid movies than I ever have in my entire life in the past month or two. It's so funny. I mean, I used to consider myself a very, not a critic, but a serious film connoisseur. I always liked the old heady independent films, the dark stuff. I just can't stomach it right now. And that's okay. Your body needs what it needs. So listen to what your body needs and watch some fucking stupid movies. Listen to some upbeat music. Go for a run if you can. Work out inside your apartment if you can. Laugh with your friends, or if you don't have friends or loved ones in your place physically, do it over Zoom. Just open a dialogue about it, get the stuff out, because one thing that doesn't help is shoving it all down. It'll come out in really weird and damaging ways. So that's it for today. I just wanted to keep it fairly short and send you off for the week, even though you're listening to this probably on a Tuesday, or maybe you're not. Maybe you are listening to it on a Friday. And I hope to see you next time.
All right, Peg, move over. Nobody finishes this podcast but me. I don't care if you are a legend. So here goes nothing. Fuck it. I'll use my own tagline. So, suckers!
This has been the Living Artist Podcast. Thank you so much for listening. I just want you to know that I appreciate you being here, and I'm grateful to be in your ears. Your art and creative life on this planet is meaningful, so thank you for sharing it with me. If you like this podcast, whatever platform you're listening to it on, please subscribe and share it with your friends. You can also leave me a positive review to show your support. This helps me to reach more people with the algorithmic magic and keep the show going strong. If you want to see more of what I do and check out the art that I create, you can visit my website at www.pmsartwork.com or follow me on social media everywhere at PMS Artwork. That's it for now. See you back here next time.